What's it feel like to be a Giants fan?
Well,
this is the complaint that people have about Bills fans. Is the minute we start to feel like things are moving, we just start busting everybody's chops. No, this doesn't happen. It might have happened. It might have happened back when we took 4 trips to the Super Bowl. We were probably getting a little cocky, but it's been a long run. It ain't over till it's over. I'm not getting cocky till it's all said and done. And it ain't all said and done. Although, Mark Kelso, it feels pretty good right now.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. And I was a little bit surprised how yesterday unfolded, particularly with that first drive that Oakland put together. They kind of went down the field and didn't seem like a whole lot of opposition, and then put themselves in the end zone. But the Bills weathered that storm. They continued to turn the ball over I think they're plus 14 on the season right now, which is kind of unheard of in my mind. And it's 7 games into the 2017 season. They've been playing mistake-free on the offensive side of the ball. It seems like their running game, again, came to life yesterday, particularly in the second half. The offensive line did a terrific job of keeping some really good pass rushers. Khalil Mack, actually, him being the best one of that group, and one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL, and him and Von Miller and a couple other guys, but kept him at bay, and he was not able to pressure Tyrod very much. So they really played a clean game all around, and then created some turnovers and gave their offense some real advantageous field position. So it was a quality team win. It was a game that again they get a lot of support at New Era Field and with the 12th man, and they certainly made themselves heard yesterday, and it made it difficult for Derek Carr to make adjustments at the line of scrimmage, and that's a benefit anytime they enjoy that advantage.
I saw something yesterday, speaking of that defense. I think it's 4 straight games, which they've had at least 3 turnovers, and you're talking about the 12th man. How awesome is it? I saw a stat during the game yesterday. It's 13 consecutive home games for the Bills. They've scored at least 20 points. And this is a team, a lot of times you talk about struggling offensively. 13 straight home games with at least 20 points, which is by far, they are by far leading the league with that streak.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage. It really is. I think sometimes you get the home crowd, and if you're not playing well, it can be discouraging, certainly, because then you have people that are out there and complaining and booing, and it creates an issue. But when you're playing well and they realize what effort you're expending to put a good product on the field, they're extremely vocal. The fans in Buffalo are tremendous, and the building is sold out, and everybody's in their seat. I think they sought some shelter at halftime because they were soaking wet after the rain in the first half, but they were there when the game was in progress and did just a terrific job. But again, it's so advantageous to the defense because it's hard for you to hear some defensive calls as well, but they can use hand signals a lot easier than the offense can, and it really prohibits, and particularly a guy like Derek Carr, who makes adjustments at the line of scrimmage all the time because he sees what coverage he thinks the defense is in, and he's trying to put his offense in the best situation to create a favorable play. And there were some miscommunications from that offensive unit yesterday, and a couple times Derek Carr was having conversations with his receivers on incompletions as they walked back to the sidelines when they had to bring the punt unit on. And obvious because of the communication issues that they were having at the line of scrimmage.
This Bills defense has been so instrumental in the success, but also the success, I think, and I'd like your take on this, and the success of Tyrod Taylor. They've given him an opportunity to grow into this position, and you got to give incredible credit to this defense. Do you agree with that? And the Tyrod Taylor part?
Well, there's a synergy with the whole every unit, really, defensively, offensively, and special teams wise. You can't turn the ball over on special teams, which the Bills were fortunate, although they created their own opportunities by causing a fumble on a kickoff or a punt return, and then you can't when you're an offensive unit. You can't back the team up, and if you're in deep in your own end, you got to be able to escape a little bit, at least flip the field. And defensively, you have to try to turn the ball over to your offense in favorable field positions and give them a short field. So there's, every unit complements every other unit, and I think that's what the best part of this Bills team this far, 7 games into the season, is that they continue to limit turnovers on the offensive side of the ball, create turnovers defensively, and special teams has been a bright spot as well. So, I mean, they've been playing consistently well in all three phases of the game, and I think when you do that and each unit complements the other, then you have an opportunity to be successful. And if you don't, then you're living with one unit, you're trying to score a lot of points, or you're trying to keep teams under 14 points, or you're turning the ball over on special teams, which are always big plays, and you're going to have problems. So there's no question that each unit complements the other.
How about McCoy? Certainly one of the positives. He has really come to his own here and is having great success right now.
Yeah, a couple of things about that. One is he's without question one of the top three backs in the league. I would say there's probably no back in the league that has the exceptional lateral quickness that he has. He's got great vision. He's got great acceleration. He understands how to get himself down actually and preserve his body, because he's not a real big-bodied guy. I mean, you know, he's certainly athletic, and he's got some thickness to him, but not. I mean, you wouldn't call him a thick running back, but he avoids hits, and he never seems to take a big hit. And yesterday there was a run. I mean, he started to the right side. He saw a sliver of space on the left, and he kind of darted through there, and then made a linebacker miss. I think it was Navarro Bowman, who's one of the best in the game, and then he got about 3 more yards and went down before he got hit by 3 people who actually hit each other. So kind of he avoided the hit, and he's got great acceleration. And then I think the offensive line is just kind of, I mean, they're developing a real consistency and kind of a real seamless operation now that they've got the 5 guys in there that they seem to want to play. And although Deion Dawkins still gets some healthy time as well, and in addition to Cordy Glenn, but I think when they have DeMarco in the game at the fullback position, and they've got that offensive line working as a unit, and they seem to have found the plays with pulling Richie Incognito, or sometimes they pull Vlad Dukas across, and then they block on the edge with DeMarco. And DeMarco's been unbelievable. And LaShawn McCoy, the other thing he does really well is uses his blockers to cut right off those guys as the block's being executed, which gives him a steam and just hesitates that defender just for a split second so that they're not able to make the tackle. That's all he needs to get to the next level.
I want to ask you, as a former player, short week, certainly a short week like playing Thursday night, coming off a win has got to be a lot easier than coming off a loss. But here you are going up against the Jets, and it's a short week. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, not a fan, quite frankly. I mean, I certainly like Sunday night games and like Monday night games, and I love the national exposure that the team's able to get, and you're playing in front of a national audience. But I'm not a favor. I'm not a fan of short weeks. Not a fan of it at the collegiate level. Not a fan of it at the NFL level, because I think guys need adequate time to rest between games, and it really has nothing to do with preparation, although this does hinder your preparation week, because you're not able to do anything really live on the field. I mean, they're going to go in there today, and the Bills have a veteran club. I think you'd say. I think they're one of the 2 or 3 oldest teams in the league right now by years of experience, because they're bringing in guys that have 4 or 5 years of experience. And when you're at that age, you know, when you've got that many years of experience, and you come in there Monday, you're certainly not ready to practice Monday. So that becomes a walkthrough. Do you even watch the previous film? I don't know. You might just put on the Jets and try to begin to diagnose that game plan. Coaches are obviously had to be prepared before that, because they're going to start doing that today. You're going to have one day really of reasonable quality practice. You're probably not going to hit it all, and then Wednesday you're just going to have a walkthrough and try to brush up on some things that you're going to try to execute on Thursday night. So it's very, very difficult to prepare. I mean, you may have a play or two that you're going to pull out of the playbook that you've been working on for several weeks, because the opposition is going to be unaware that you're going to run it because you don't have it on film. So that's something you need to be concerned about, certainly from a defensive back. But short weeks are really difficult. I mean, on the back end, you get those 10 days, and you get a little bit more of a rest. But I mean, look at a situation like, Trey Elston played well yesterday in place of Jordan Poyer, but Jordan Poyer was unable to play yesterday, and I would suspect that, I don't know. Let's see what happens if he's going to be able to play on Thursday night or not. But being a short week, he may not have enough time
certainly decreases the
to recover to get back on the field. So that anybody who's injured is may not have the opportunity as well. So I'm not a big fan. I mean, I think it's great you get to play in front of a national audience, but it's the short weeks make it very difficult for preparation and very difficult when you're recovering from the previous game.
Mark Kelso, this is it's been fun so far. We're enjoying it. Let's keep it going. And of course, Thursday night, the Bills and Jets. We appreciate your time as always, and we'll talk again. Thanks so much.
Yeah, look forward to it, guys. Have a great day.
All right, thanks. Mark Kelso, Buffalo Bills.
Can I just say, Thursday night's game, by the way, is on the NFL Network, so not all of our listeners get it. I would encourage you, of course, the game will be on the radio here on IBX. We will have the Bills and Jets Thursday, and a prediction. If the Bills get by the Jets, it's a tough rivalry game, and the Jets are playing better than anybody thought they would. If the Bills get by the Jets, I'm telling you, they're going to snap the playoff drought. They're going to end the playoff drought.
It's a big win coming up. Although,
if they can do it.
Think about what December looks like for Buffalo.
Well, I know they got the Dolphins twice and the Patriots twice, but again, they would be at 6-2, and this is in the last 15 to 17 years. This is the game the Bills lose. They come out, they beat these teams. They're supposed to beat the Jets on Thursday. I know they're on the road. I know the Jets are better than people think they are.
When were the Bills 5-2? The last time Bills were 5-2. It's been a long time.
I do remember 4-2. I remember 4-2 a couple years back.
No, it's not. Davey, when were the Bills last 5-2?
They just said it yesterday.
I think 2003.
Yeah, it goes back in the early 2000s. Yeah.